No pressure.
No point in holding back even a smidge when we're in such a serious predicament as there. So yeah, some of my raw, unbridled power ought to tide you over, I should think.
A bit of this. One of these. Pennyroyal. Rotting wood. Charcoal. Grave soil. Let's see. A bit of peace, sorceress.
Lady Medea. I almost pity our enemies, knowing you shall make them rue each night they dare oppose us, Lady Medea. Please, I wanted you to have this.
The nectar of the gods. Why, this shall be most useful to my work, for the strongest curses come from honeyed words. Here, let me make this worth your while.
From one sorceress to another. Thank you. How long have you resided here, Lady Medea? I thought all our forces fled once the city was overrun, but you seem rather comfortable.
Oh yes, all the death and panic made for many vacancies. I slipped in through the shadows soon after the city fell and remained, practicing, observing. Great Hecate has eyes upon the surface everywhere. A curse upon them all.
Night protect us. Moonlight guide you, milady.
My greetings in kind. So noted be. May all your foes be damned.
The messenger. Death to Kronos.
Always smooth having an animal companion along. I've got a soft spot for the quiet, self-sufficient types. My little tortoise Kellen always feels at home wherever we go.
They're still in their shades.
You again. Why am I even talking to you, sister? You save your breath, I'll save mine.
I draw you down, O moon. Lend me your light.
The sea god's strength already flows through you. Poseidon holds that he alone controls the tides. For this I cannot blame him. He does not know or understand my influence. Now. Moon water. Thus we are bound.
Gods watch over us. Olympus is fortunate to have your strength and service, son of Zeus.
I serve the gods all right. Served them a long time, one tall order after another. They brought me fame, glory, everything. They never get enough of me.
But you've had enough of them. Then, what are you doing here?
My work history can demonstrate I never get enough of them, either. I take a job, I do it. My work is finished here.
Observe nearby.
Uncle Poseidon, it is an honor to have earned your blessing, especially for all the battles still to come.
Well, I'm left to wonder who it was that taught you such good manners, niece. You're like a proper little lady. I'm impressed.
Should be useful.
The gold he used to pay for this. Oh, shiny looking, sure, but blasted soft as metal goes. Can't make halfway decent armaments with it. I've tried.
What is it now?
You said nobody took your eye before, as well as your sheep. How did you lose them then?
Nobody played a dirty trick on me as Al. Plus the sailors thought they could get away with my sheep, so I ate a couple of them. The sailors, that is. But nobody got me when I wasn't looking. Then he got away.
And you've sought vengeance on this nobody ever since?
Oh, not me personally. Someday somebody's gonna get nobody for what he did. I am gonna get you right here and now.
Greetings, my dear. No surprise that Strife Incarnate recently decided to show up as she is wont to do. Eris made good sport of us before. Must think we're fools and easy prey. You correct her, yes?
As a mortal kid confined to a tower, I was relatively well provided for, but this... I know better than to envy the gods, especially with what they're going through lately. They definitely know their drink.
The gods have always lived well, but your own life was so short and difficult. You must still have a lot of making up to do, and I thought maybe this could help.
The wretches on these ships don't have their wits, but they hit hard. I know you're good and everything, better than good. It's just, if things go bad, what happens to you then?
The first thing Headmistress taught me was how not to give in. If my strength is failing me, I use it to return to Shadow once I came. Almost a reflex at this point.
And then at the crossroads, you're up and about by the following night, raring to go. Too bad you can't return to Shadow back to where you left off. Ah, yes.
New course needs to be set.
Good night.
See you. All quiet. Great Hephaestus, your work is beyond compare, and I'm grateful for your candor with me as well. Please, take this offering.
Anytime I get an offering, it's because somebody wants something from me. You're already getting premium service, but hey, it's your nectar. Huh. I know, I reckon.
Lemon juice and sand of lake. Bubble tea leaves, ocean breeze. Briar thorns and wax of bees. Little seeds and bigger fronds. Stones from rivers, moss from ponds. Hoof of pig and fur of hound. Brew a potion safe and sound. How very fortunate.
Madam Circe, I'm grateful that we had a chance to meet again after all this time. Your kindness to me always meant a lot, and I wanted to give you this small token in return.
Nectar! Oh, thank you, little miss. I've made attempts to brew my own, but never get it right. So why don't you take this in kind? Think of it as a little island souvenir.
It's beautiful and quite adorable. Thank you.
I have seen neither hide nor hair of that Medea as of late. Her charge was far less pleasant than my own. Having to watch over that ghastly tan. I worry she's developing bad habits practicing in such a place.
I've seen Lady Medea recently. She seems rather comfortable in Ephira, in spite of what's happened there. Though she always had such a singular interest in curses and the necromantic arts.
Since she was old enough to think for herself, yes. To fend for herself, I should say. She may be my niece, yet she was always far more interested in our blood's other properties. At least she hasn't put a curse on me, as far as I can tell. Then very well.
That's potent. Heiress.
So maybe I can't kill you, Trouble, but I sure can try. Oh no, not again, not again!
Buzz off. For the realm. Nightmare.
To feel again the stable earth beneath her feet replenishes within the princess of the underworld her nearly limitless resolve, as her objective finally draws near.
Mount Olympus. There it is ahead.
The underworld's guardian, Melinoe, belongs not high above the surface, but below. Thus, having taken care of family business for the night, she vanishes before the break of dawn.
Ow! Return to Shadow now. evening, everyone.
There's so much here for me to learn. Lady Hecate has been generous enough to teach me something of the herbal ways and of your craft. An everlasting pursuit. I'm getting a late start.
You wish to become a witch, Lord Moros? Maybe I can give you some pointers sometime.
Oh, I would welcome that.
Will this truly come to pass?
The seas are at your call.
We missed you here.
I'd not expected Lady Medea to be stationed in Ephira still, Headmistress. To think even a witch of her experience wasn't able to prevent the city's fall.
It was not her responsibility to try. Medea was there to blend with the locals. It seems she's even more successful at it now, with most of them deceased. I trust she aided you in her own way.
That she did, yes.
Hello there.
When last we spoke in the taverna, I didn't mean to shame you for your musical tastes. I just had no idea that Scylla could be taken seriously by anybody, much less you.
Think nothing of it. Siren music's an acquired taste. Acquired by all those who sailed in their vicinity whilst I was home. Incessant drivel, though, that's all you think it is?
Well, perhaps I was a bit uncharitable in my assessment. It's just, I have trouble separating my disdain for the performer from the quality of her craft.
It must be very catchy, eh?
Aye.
Oh, hey.
Dora, wow. What brings you all the way out here? The taverna is just about the last place I expected to find you.
Way to make me feel incredibly self-conscious, thanks, Mel. But, yeah, I'm trying to put myself out there a bit more, I guess.
Well, I think that's great. Though, I know how difficult it is. I used to never be able to approach others, but I kept doing it, and it's easier now.
Easier, but never easy, right? I don't know why I bother. Most of these jades are pretty boring.
They haven't met you yet. Hey, if you're not busy, up for a little visit with me to the riverside? I've got a twin lure we could use right here.
Don't know that I'll be doing you much good, between my inability to use a rod of fishing and my inability to keep quiet, but hey, you asked for it. This is gonna be so fun. Seems like an awful lot of trouble for some weird fish. Anytime now? Swim time? Ha, you tricked a fish.
It's something.
Well, that definitely was a thing that happened. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Here you go. Grant me the aspect of Eos.
Ah, rosy-fingered dawn.
For the realm. Already come this far?
I have no wish to see the god of light, only his strength.
Lord Hephaestus, you're so much more than your ingenious craft. I never could have expected you to be so generous to me, and I'm most grateful for it.
Hello, Witchy. Is he not in here? Or are you embarrassing me to no end? Just let me work the blasted forge. No need to make a big deal. So that's the Staff of Dusk, is it? Discura, that's her name. Forged who only knows how deep within the earth under the watchful eye of night. Something like that.
A guest in my domain. The trials I devised all begin precisely as planned. But from that point, not even I can influence the outcomes entirely. For instance, I did not expect to find you here, Spawn Hades.
The heart sigil.
It pains me to admit that there are occasions when love is not the answer, and a bit of sharpened metal can much sooner do the trick. In such matters, my Hephaestus can be of assistance, can't you, dear?
For you up any time. And as for Witchy here, most of the time. Now come on. Even when the situation calls for sharpened metal, you know how to get the point across.
Oh, hey, lady. We've been practicing. You want to hear our latest jam?
Hey. It's been nice to see you out and about a little more often lately. Not just cooped up in here. How are you managing?
I'm managing. Those other shades don't know the first thing about haunting. And it turns out they've got dirt on everybody here. Including you.
Comforting to know the brunt of our resistance is enjoying themselves a good bit of gossip.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just clean this up.
Yeah? And just what do you think you're gonna do about it there, Nemi? Can't just have it out with me in the middle of your little crossroads.
Can't do anything about it here, but might run into you out there, snooping around, and then you won't get any special treatment. Just another target.
Nemesis, how could you be so cruel? You're my sister! We don't have to fight. And besides, what makes you think you'd ever catch me? You're too slow.
We'll see.
You'll see.
Good evening. 'Tis fortunate your father's realm is vast indeed, that you may circumnavigate it at the edge of Oceanus, where our enemy is relatively weak.
If we cannot pass directly through Elysium, then we shall make what way we can. Though the fiends that lurk the border of the sea care not for my presence.
God-hating monsters with salt in their veins. The seas covering the world's surface just were not enough for them. Sunken chambers they occupy have not yet fallen to Kronos, at least.
So then, were you ever certain you had finally met your doom? Or did you truly think there was always a plan of escape to be discovered, no matter how dire the circumstance?
Well, to be quite frank with you, Moros, may we be informal thus? I had the hardest time untangling myself not from near-fatal situations, but the arms of certain goddesses. My greatest weakness, looking back.
Ah, indeed. But how was this a weakness? As I understand, your wife Penelope stood by your side despite your indiscretions. I trust I do not overstep. I know this can be a sensitive topic with those from the surface.
Penelope stood by my side, because I only told her so much about my indiscretions, as you call them. Then when we reunited after death, I had to tell her the rest. She had spent her best years awaiting an unfaithful man.
I see. After everything you'd been through, did your relationship end in an amicable way at least?
Surprisingly enough, it did.
This vision I accept. skipped me ahead.
I believe your magic shall be of little use in this trial.
Hit me then.
The act of creation is not always pristine. The residue of it you know as stardust, which retains some power over consciousness. Consider it an incentive to look upon the standing stone and undertake the trials you see there.
Where in blazes are you now, Sunshine? It's like you're at the bottom of the sea. Wherever it is, it's awful dark, and as you know, I've always got the cure for that.
She's back.
You survived?
I urge you visit us, though since we're under siege and all, perhaps it isn't worth a trip. Olympus sure takes on a different feel when you're stuck. We've cut back on the feasting and frolicking a lot. Oh, how I miss those days.
We love our fans. They just keep coming back, no matter what. And here we go!
Couldn't do it.
Even Mother Nyx's weapons favor you. Always thought the Nocturnal Arms would wake for me first. Guess the Fates had other ideas.
I think the Fates had you covered. You're the bearer of Stygius, vanquisher of heroes, gods, and titans.
Seems it was due for a long break.
To be direct with you, Master Odysseus, I am what you might call an admirer. At first, I found you extraordinarily frustrating. So adept were you at avoiding certain doom. But gradually, perhaps grudgingly, I grew very impressed.
Oh, I'm flattered and relieved to hear it. Very kind of you to let me know, particularly after all this time.
It's quite humorous, in fact. While you drew breath, I never once had opportunity to tell you.
Quite humorous indeed, my lord. I intended no offense by avoiding you. You know that, of course. A mortal impulse whilst in mortal peril.
Oh, you were a wonder to behold. There were the Lystrigonian giants, Charybdis, and, lest we forget, the War of Ilium.
I never do.
How have you lately fared against the lurkers and the serpents all that way down in the watery depths? Knowing of them and squaring off against them are two very different things.
They're significantly stronger than the lost souls lingering around here. And they have no sense of fear at all, attacking without any hesitation.
They're basically just walking fish, young one. Not much for conversating, but they'll stick you with a trident just fine. Don't you let them.
I won't. Commander, we've restored our fishing pier. Would you mind joining me there, given all your nautical experience?
My days amongst the fishes are long gone, young one. And besides, my place is here. Right in this particular spot. So thanks.
May moonlight guide us.
Seriously.
This loadout's worth a shot. What happened to me?
The goddess of love is well accustomed to being observed.
Beyond this rift, the mountain of the gods.
Ah, you've reached the rift that thoughtful Lord Poseidon slashed across our pretty countryside, enabling our foes to mass against us even faster than they could on foot. Just hurry over, hmm?
Are you all right, Princess? I'm realizing that whenever you return, it's likely due to some unfortunate result. One I might have easily anticipated in the past, but not anymore.
I'm fine, Lord Moros. Thank you for asking. I'm fairly accustomed to such outcomes at this point. It's interesting to know the fates are not forcing it along. That it's all in my control. And all my fault.
Well, now that you mention it, I can't entirely be sure the fates have no more influence at all. How frustrating, not knowing whether our actions have been preordained or not.
I try not to think on it too much. Such a mess.
You know I can't accept this now. Not after everything that's happened between us. Let's just move on with our lives.
Huh? And what exactly happened between us, would you say, if you had to summarize? You're just mocking me as usual, aren't you?
Just have a good life.
Moonlight guide you.
I'll find my own way.
How fares the task thus far, Melinoe? Our enemy yet remains indisposed with more pressing matters. The time to strike at him is now.
There is much left to do, Headmistress. You must know that. How much time do I have?
Who can say? Our enemy is time itself. Time's passage seems to bear little meaning anymore. Do not rush needlessly. The task will only take longer that way.
I'll do my best.
Again.
Hey, you miss being up there, don't you? Among the mortals and all that?
You know, mortals have a word for deliberate cruelty or callous negligence. They call it evil. I could always catch wind of it. I'd go to the source. And whoever it was, I'd make them pay.
But now you're stuck here, and the evil goes unchecked.
A lot of it, I'm sure.
What shall become of our fair mountain, love? Just recently we felt such tremors as I'd not experienced before. At first I thought it was Poseidon shaking up the earth again, but one look at him and I knew it wasn't so.
Looks like we've got another busy eve ahead of us.
Let us together shine this night, O moon.
From your perspective, those waters must appear to have no end. But they do end. And you have means to quickly cut across. I shall watch you sail on and help you make haste. The choice is...
Thought that was you. I'm a good sport, Trouble. Win or lose, it's all the same to me.
The shades around here. I know they've been avoiding you, Lord Moros. Some are filled with fear, others with contempt. You ended their lives?
It never was for me to decide why a mortal's life should suddenly be cut short. But I did get to choose the how of it. Knowing the future could be monotonous work, so my sisters and I tried to keep things interesting.
You brought misery to mortals because you were bored.
I'm not proud of it. Especially not when you put it that way. And I regret I've caused dissension in your ranks.
I'll handle it.
The goddess of love has further plans for you.
Lass.
Smells delicious.
You look unwell. Returning is difficult, I know. Tell me if you need anything.
I think I'm all right, thank you, Headmistress. How do you manage it when you're out of sorts?
Oh, I've a draft for every mood and more. Sorrow, pain, anxiety, love, sickness, dispassion, rage, fear, nausea, cowardice, all sensations one can rectify. Whether with mental fortitude or, failing that, a potent drink.
Perhaps some other time.
Death to Kronos. How many attempts was that now? Good thing our Titan friend's too busy with your topside relatives to pay you much attention.
Sorry, not been keeping count. I'll get there when I get there. Though surely you would have vanquished the Titan Lord on your very first go.
Guess we'll never know, will we?
May Moonlight guide you.
Sure.
You and Commander Skelemius both were great and famous sailors, weren't you, Odd? Did the two of you ever meet in your mortal days?
Oh, great sailor is an understatement, goddess. They say his exploits rivaled even mine. Alas, that I never once had an opportunity to witness his prowess. Oh, it must have been something.
We're fortunate to have you both.